giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
So let's hop right into our first topic tonight. So even though there's a ton of off-season events going on, this past weekend, New Hampshire teams were invited to take part in the first ever Governor's Cup at Plymouth State University. This event was sponsored by Eversource and the product of Dean's growing relationship with the New Hampshire government. So scholarships for New Hampshire FRC students were funded by the state, and laptops were donated to teams by Fidelity. So basically all 22 teams that attended ended up being winners one way or another, but with either sweet scholarship money or a laptop. But the winning alliance was 319, 1519, and 1247. So Andy, I know that 131 competed there and ended up as finalists. Did you attend, and can you tell us what the event was like for your students and for your team?
Well, I'm sad to say that I did not attend. I was not available that day, but I was watching from afar, and it seemed to have a really good time up there. It looked like everything was running well. Gave it their best, and it seems like it was a fun event. The details of it, I think it's a neat little idea that trying to bring your state together to compete and have something to play for is kind of cool at the end of the season. So
yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool concept when it was announced. I don't know, I think it must have been announced during competition season or something at some point, but it seemed like it drew in a lot of state representatives and other people to the venue or to the event. So that's pretty awesome. So Connor, I know that you're a part of a team from New Hampshire, but unfortunately didn't attend. But did you have any friends that went? Did you go?
Yeah, we had a couple of our mentors go, and one of my friends was one of the referees down in the field. Man, we really wanted to go to this event at one point, but it just wasn't possible with our school had the PSATs on the same day, so it just didn't fall into place. I did watch the stream, however, for a little bit. Competition looked good. I had my friends texting me back and forth. Seemed to run pretty smoothly. That's yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard a lot about just like the overall quality of the event was really awesome. The venue apparently was pretty great. And when I asked Abigail Perry, who's a headquarters employee, and she's also one of our head refs in New England. She was the head ref at the event, and she had said that, the event went really well, and she felt like teams really came prepared and really enjoyed themselves. So that was pretty cool to hear. Meredith, what are your thoughts on this event, and how could it set an example for other states to step up and provide support for FIRST programs and their students?
Yeah, so this is something I do a lot of work with our government, and actually we have gotten some large grants from the Arkansas Department of Workforce Services. In fact, we just bought an Andy Mark competition field from money from the state. So for the first time this year, we had our off-season event with our own field that we owned, which was super special. And I mean, more events are great. That's why we got this field. We're not in a position to go to districts anytime soon, so it's not really for that. I would like that. It's more just to have more events. I'm going to take that sucker and set it up in a community center or set it up in a school and let them keep it for a few weeks and, invite their local government officials and sponsors to come in and see their robot on an actual field. So I think it's great. Like I said, more events, more money for college, all a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that some states like Texas had this before. I think Connecticut has it. There's definitely state championships that are, I guess there's less on the line because it's really just another off-season event for some teams. I know Texas took it pretty seriously, and now they're moving to district.
And we're going to add one next year in June. And the cool thing about a state championship, I had a team that one of my teams was on Minute Maid in the finals against the Cheesy Poofs last year. Okay, they were world finalists. Nobody cares. It doesn't mean anything. But if they won the Arkansas State Championship, oh my goodness, there would be a sign to their town. So it's it kind of reaches the local audience more than, hey, this team from Prairie Grove, Arkansas was a world finalist. Mm-hmm.
It's that's a pretty interesting concept. I know,
it's weird.
Yeah.
They didn't win, so I guess that doesn't.
Well,
it's not special.
Even when I was on a team that won, sort of, and it was just like nobody understands what that means. They don't understand how really, really hard that is because it's not here.
especially if you're a sustaining team, because like, for instance, I mean, if you win the national event, yeah, it is a big deal for you locally when you're trying to get sponsorship money and try to keep things going. But I mean, now if you have something that has like, especially if the Governor's Cup like it's prestige, or people look at it as a state championship, you can kind of look at it and say, hey, we won the state championship to a potential future sponsor. That means a lot to teams who are trying to
locals.
sustain.
It really does. And people can go to that event. Nobody from Mountain Home, Arkansas hardly is going to go to Houston. So
no.
Right.
And I think it's a cultural thing too, like within certain states. Like I know that in Texas, obviously football is a huge thing, but say in New England, like I can assume that most like New Hampshire football teams are not fantastic. So having the Governor's Cup there, like Andy was saying, is like an opportunity for community members and, people from around the state to come in and really see what's going on and get a better understanding of it. Because reading an article in the newspaper or, like a Facebook post from a team, you really don't have, a concept of what things are or what's going on. So, hopefully we see this expand into other states, even if it's starting off as something as a state championship that's, more rooted within the school system rather than, government funded. But I think that this was a pretty cool thing. I would love for it to happen in Massachusetts and elsewhere, especially so my students could benefit from it, because it was so cool to hear that there were these companies and other people that were donating money to directly benefit students and the teams. Like that is huge. So I was a big fan of it. Hopefully they'll do it again next year. I don't know if there was any talk of it, but we'll see.
Thank you to all of our co-executive producers, keeping fun loud, live, and independent. Pledge your support. Go to patreon.com/funfrc.